What's up, guys? So I promised that I was going to do a breakdown of the Mass Effect Andromeda trailer. It's taken me a while, but I think I finally got everything down. Before I go into this, I never read the leaks. I think they were survey leaks or something. For those of you that know me for a while, you know that I never read leaks, especially when it has to do with story and stuff like that. I do like to look at information that the developers release. That information tends to not really delve too much into the story and stuff like that. So anything having to do with what it's about before the developer announces it, I just don't, I avoid it. I don't read it. So I never read the leaks. So if any of this pertains to the leaks, I don't know about it. I haven't watched or read any other breakdowns of the trailer either, because I like to go into my analysis without any outside opinions affecting my opinion. So I want to get my opinion out first, and then I go out and look to see what people are saying. Okay, so now we could go right into this. So obviously the song that's playing is Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash didn't write this song, by the way. This person did. It's Ghost Riders in the Sky. The worlds that we're seeing here mean nothing to us, because this is a completely new galaxy. We've never seen these worlds until now. So there's really nothing I could say about the worlds. I mean, they look cool, and you do see some things and creatures flying around in some of them, but you know, this is a completely different galaxy, so I don't think we're meant to know what is on here. So I think they just want to show us the options that we have, like, you know, that we could go to different worlds and to explore wherever we want, I guess. So what I do want to talk about is actually the song. This song is really strange that they chose this song. Now, it could just be that it kind of fits, and it's like, okay, yeah, well, you know, Ghost Riders in the Sky. It's like, okay, well, maybe it kind of makes sense, because this character right here with their party is kind of riding in the sky as well. It's kind of weird that they chose this particular song, because what this song is saying, I was listening to it and I'm like, this reminds me a lot of the Wild Hunt, the myth. This is not just pertaining to The Witcher. This is an actual myth. So in this song, it has to do with these hellish herd of cattle with like red eyes and steel hooves and stuff, and they're called the devil's herd. Pursuing them are a group of damned cowboy spirits, so they are damned to try to capture the devil's herd forever, for eternity. So in the song, if you listen to it, or if you want to read the lyrics, he says, he's telling this person, he's telling this cowboy that if you don't change your ways, you're gonna join us for eternity. So it's kind of like, it's about this person that if they don't change their ways, they're doing something wrong. They're going to be damned to always trying to capture the devil's herd that rides in the sky. So I was like, why would they choose that song? Like, how does that apply? How could that apply? Is this cowboy this person? This character? Or is it more about eternally chasing something that is not good for you, or something that is going to keep hurting you, or something that, you know, you're damned to this type of life? Maybe that's what it's pertaining to, and not so much the character and the cowboy here, more the idea of the devil's herd and being damned to pursue it for eternity. You know, it's like, that's what you're going to keep doing. You're going to keep going back to the same thing if you don't change your ways. Maybe that's just kind of a teasing a theme of the game. I thought it was interesting. Maybe I'm looking way too much into it and they just like the song. But I found it really interesting that they chose this particular song. In this part right here where it shows the map, It looks a lot different from the galaxy map, obviously. What this shows, it gives you an idea that you are already in the Andromeda galaxy. There is a picture, like a wallpaper picture, where it has a lot of the acronyms and abbreviations that they have on the screen. It has the abbreviations DTBSEANDMD, which means Database Andromeda. The other reason that you already guess that you're in the Andromeda galaxy is that in the middle, that circle must be a planet, and it says right there your location. There's another circle, it's connected to the other circle where it says FTL destination. If you think of the galaxy map in the previous Mass Effect games, you could see the whole galaxy in different sections, right? Different systems. Here, you are probably in a system already. This looks a lot like when you were in the system in Mass Effect, in the galaxy map, not zoomed out in the full map of the galaxy. So this is implying that you're already in the Andromeda galaxy. You're in a system most likely, and you're going from planet to planet. It's not really important, but what it did make me think was, I wonder if you start the game already in the Andromeda galaxy, or do you start off in the Milky Way galaxy and then go to the Andromeda galaxy? That would be interesting, but it would be kind of hard for them to explain how you get there. It's kind of complicated because here it's proving another thing, that you're not using mass relays anymore, because obviously after the Mass Effect 3, the mass relays were destroyed. I don't know how many years into the future this takes place after Mass Effect 3. I know it takes place a few years after Mass Effect 3, quite a few, but not enough for there to be completely new technology, because we're still seeing the Mako, we're still seeing Omni tools, and they look pretty similar. They don't look very different. The armors don't look very different, and N7 is still around. So I'm guessing this is not way too far into the future. This is just kind of a few years into the future. How much? I don't know, but a few years, and not enough for there to even be an idea how to repair the mass relays, because the mass relays, if you remember in Mass Effect, were created by the Reapers. How are they traveling from one place to another? Is it a wormhole or is it FTL drives? Here it kind of proves that it's not a wormhole, because it says FTL destination. And in FTL and Mass Effect, it is not very advanced, at least in the previous games, like in Mass Effect 3. It's not that advanced. That's why they don't really use it. They use the mass relays, because it takes forever for them to get to one place to another using just FTL drives. I'm guessing that this is where the upgrade came, in the FTL drives. I think FTL drives were upgraded after the destruction of the Reapers, because the Reapers had more advanced FTL drives. It is known that the Reapers could travel 30 light years in 24 hours. Even for the Reapers, that is not very fast. That's why the Reapers wanted to use the mass relays, and why it took them a lot longer to arrive to where they were going, because they weren't using the mass relays. So the Reaper technology, the 30 light years in 24 hours, this was twice the capability of the Citadel starships. So that means that here, most likely, maybe after the destruction of the Reapers, maybe even using the technology of fallen Reapers, destroyed Reapers maybe, they were able to advance their FTL drives quite a bit, more so than even the Reapers had it, because Andromeda is actually 2,538,000 light years from Earth. So using the FTL drives of the Reapers, they could get 30 light years in 24 hours. Now, how long would it take to get to 2,538,000 light years using that FTL drive? I'll let you guys do the math. Seriously, you guys do the math. I was like, do I divide? Do I times? I don't know why this was so difficult to me. I was like, I don't even want to think about it. That's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing FTL drives have been upgraded with Reaper technology, most likely. Now, I'm not even going to mention the endings for Mass Effect 3, because I have no clue how they're going to apply this. Are they going to choose a canon ending? Maybe. Let's not even go into that, because that's just a whole nother can of worms. Another thing that shows up on that wallpaper that I'm telling you has this little symbol. This symbol was actually, I don't want to say leaked. I kind of want to say teased. A BioWare dev had just tweeted a while ago a picture of his shirt, and it was this symbol, and people were like, nobody knew what it was. There was no context to it. But now that the cat is out of the bag, now that we know the trailer is out there, I even remember somebody tweeting, one of the devs tweeting after the trailer, their shirt and all this, that they were going to be wearing this shirt or something. I don't remember what it was exactly, but now it's confirmed that this shirt is a Mass Effect Andromeda shirt. And that symbol represents the Archon Pathfinder Initiative. Archon is most likely an acronym. For a while now, since that picture had been tweeted, people have been trying to find out what Archon stands for. I was also trying to find out. It's really hard. I mean, obviously you can't guess, but just seeing the word Pathfinder already implies that this group of people is going from one place to the other to find a path, to find resources, to find knowledge. This reminds me a lot of when the Alliance went exploring the galaxy and they activated the Charon relay. Since the ending of Mass Effect 3, the galaxy was kind of like left, like, what do we do now? You know, the mass relays are not functioning. How are we going to fix them? I mean, maybe they are fixing them. Maybe they can't fix it in a few years, I'm sure. So maybe it takes a lot of time for them to fix it, but maybe they need resources. You know, it's like, we need resources. We need to keep looking what is out there to help us. So I think they create this group, the Archon Pathfinder Initiative, and to go look for, you know, to see what's out there. So they find a way to get to the Andromeda Galaxy. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to try to see what Archon might stand for. I was thinking the A could be Alliance, but then I was like, okay, if you think of the three people that are in the three characters that are in this squad, there are two humanoids. I don't want to say humans. I think they are humans, but let's just say humanoids because we're not for sure because they have helmets. Two humanoids, a male and a female, and a Krogan female. Because there is no crest on her, and she looks just like a female Krogan. There's a Krogan there. Why would she be part of this group, Archon, when the A stands for Alliance, when the Alliance is the representative body of Earth and humanity? Or maybe they're just using Alliance as the actual word and not the systems Alliance? I don't know, but I was like, maybe it's not Alliance, maybe it's Allied, like Allied races or something. The A could be Alliance or Allied or something else. The R could be research, resources, or races. Alliance research, comma, knowledge and communication organization network, or Alliance research, comma, knowledge and cosmic observation network. The O could be organization, operation, observation. The N, I couldn't think of anything but network. I was like, I don't know. And the C could be communication, could be combat, because it's obvious that these characters are fit for combat. I mean, the character that is seen is N7, and the female character looks like she also has the N7 stripe. I don't know if that's just, you know, the color that she has, or if she is also N7. Is this whole group N7? Because of the word Pathfinder, I think that's the main. I think that word is the one that stands out the most. It kind of gives you an idea of what this group is about. It's about finding new paths. It's about exploration. It's about going into the unknown and seeing what's out there for knowledge, for resources, for whatever. That walk towards the camera really, really reminded me of one of the trailers for Mass Effect 3. It's almost identical, where Shepard is looking at the planet, exactly like that. The dashboard right here, and he turns around and he walks towards the camera, and you can see the N7. So I thought that was pretty cool. I guess it's their way of, like, I don't know, connecting to both of them. The Mako, we don't see much of the Mako here, but I was remembering that last year in Comic-Con, there was a panel held, and Mike Gamble was talking a little bit about the Mako, and he said the Mako was faster, and it was most likely, now remember, we are kind of still early on into production, there's still about a year, a little more over a year left in production, so a lot of this is subject to change, so take all of this with a grain of salt. But they did say that they want to incorporate customization for the Mako, which is going to be absolutely amazing. So I was like, okay, the Mako doesn't have cannons because the original Mako had cannons. This one doesn't, unless they move the cannons, and I'm not noticing them. But I'm thinking maybe you could add cannons with the customization. So maybe that's why they left the cannons out, so that you could see how the Mako looks like pre-customization. This character, it was already confirmed by BioWare that this is not the main character, this is not the protagonist, this is another character, most likely a squad mate. This is not the first time that they show a trailer without the protagonist. If you remember in Mass Effect 3, there was the trailer with Major Coates, but then I was like, maybe they twisted it just to like confuse us a little bit, because people were like, how is this not going to be the playable character? How are they going to show you him choosing where to go and all that? Like, who is he? Who is he for him to be able to make those decisions? It could just be them showing this character doing this stuff. I mean, maybe the playable character isn't even coming into consideration yet. Maybe this person is like in charge first. Maybe this person dies or something, and then you take over. Maybe something happens to this guy, and then you're the one that is leading the whole Archon or whatever. That's not rare in BioWare games, for you to all of a sudden fall into a position where you're like, I have no clue what to do, because they usually do that so that you could start with a blank slate, and you tell the story of your character. Or, I mean, BioWare could have just changed the camera view or the point of view, and maybe that girl N7 is the playable character, and this is just your squad, and they're just following this character. I really want to think that this is a character that something's going to happen to this character. Maybe you have to go save them. Maybe they get lost or something, or maybe they die, taken off their position because of something they did or something, and then you have to take over. That's what I want to think. That's what I am guessing. So the armor, I thought at first when I saw it, I was like, that's most likely light armor, because of how you could see the leather and the fabric underneath. That usually indicates light armor, because heavy armor is usually more metallic. There's more to it. But then I was like, wait a minute, the girl looks like she's wearing light armor, because she doesn't have the pads here. So I was like, okay, I think she's the one with the light armor. Now this is just based off whether they do it exactly like they did in Mass Effect 3. They could do it differently, but what I'm guessing is this is a soldier, the class. And he's wearing either medium armor, but most likely heavy armor. And that indication is because of the Omni Blade. In Mass Effect 3, the soldier was the only one with the Omni Blade. The Infiltrator had something very similar, but the Omni Blade was forked. It was like that. And it caused like electric damage. And then the Sentinel had 2 Omni Blades. I think it was the Sentinel. It was Sentinel, I think. Yeah. Had 2 Omni Blades. So this guy just has 1 Omni Blade. So it's unless they change things, this is most likely a soldier. The technology that is rising up from the ground, I think it's probably like a security measure of the planet, of this area. So once they land, maybe the security mechanism goes off and these things come up, and they start shooting at them, and this unknown race is running at them. Very early on, I heard people saying, oh, Turians, and I was like, Turians? The body is completely wrong. It looks similar, especially from here up, because the head is a little bit elongated. But if you look at the legs, they're completely wrong. They're not Turian at all. And now that we know that we're in the Andromeda galaxy, it's almost 100% positive that it's not a Turian and it's a new race. I remember seeing this race, I think it was during one of the N7 days, where BioWare was teasing on Twitter pictures of concept art or just some of the developers like working on stuff, and there was a picture of one of the races, and it looks a lot like this unknown race that you're fighting, this hostile race. We now have some kind of jetpack or maybe like turbo boosters on the back. I don't think you could fly, but I think it could just propel you, which is super cool. When the character gets shot by some of the lasers, you could see a shield go up, and at first I was like, was that a biotic shield? But it's not. It's just a normal shield. So this is most likely not a biotic. Again, I think it's soldier. The girl, since she is wearing light armor and she has what I think is a shotgun, it could be a rifle, but she's holding it with two hands. The main character that you're seeing here, the guy, he obviously has a pistol, and the pistol looks identical to the M6 Carnifex. That's another indicator that I think this is not really far into the future, because the gun looks pretty identical to it, and him carrying a pistol doesn't really say anything about his class, because soldiers could use all types of guns. The girl, though, I think she has a shotgun, because it looks very square, like the shotguns from Mass Effect. It could be an assault rifle, but I think it's a shotgun. So since she has light armor, a shotgun, I was like, maybe she's an engineer, or maybe even a vanguard. I don't know, but I'm guessing more like an engineer. She could be any class. If they do it like Mass Effect 3, again, any class except for some characters, but any class could hold any type of gun. You could put any type of gun on any class. You just had to put up with cooldowns because of the weight and stuff like that. So that's the trailer. Like I said, a lot of stuff is open for interpretation, because this is a completely new galaxy. This is the first we see it, and really there's nothing to analyze when it comes to the what we're seeing, this new race, this new technology, and these new places, these new planets. Now I see why a lot of developers early on were saying this new Mass Effect was looking very new, very different, but very familiar at the same time. I totally see that now, because you're in a completely new galaxy. There's most likely a new race here. How many new races we're gonna see, I don't know. Hopefully we see quite a few, a handful at least. Or is this the new menace, or are you the menace? That's what I was really thinking about. And it goes back to, why did they choose that song, about this cowboy that should change his ways, or else you'll always be damned to searching for something that you can't really reach. You think you're doing something for the Alliance, for the Milky Way galaxy or whatever, but you're the one that's invading this galaxy. You're the one that's coming to these planets and trying to take their resources. I'm not saying this is what it's about, but what if that's the theme? I mean, you're doing, it's like, I'm doing this for the good of my people, right? You're doing this for good. You're not doing this for bad. But you are going to these planets, maybe going to these planets, and what, looking for resources? Are you gonna take these things? I mean, obviously these aliens are going to respond hostily. They're gonna be like, what? It's kind of the other way around now. At least that's the impression I'm getting. That now you are the one invading somebody's house. How do you think those aliens see you? They're like, oh my god, we are being attacked by some crazy people. Like, we don't even know who these guys are, but they're coming to our place and they are trying to take our stuff. So obviously they're gonna fight. So I think it would be really, really cool to have that type of story where it's kind of like, who's the bad guy here? Who's that cowboy that should change his ways, or else they're always going to be stuck looking, searching, like searching for what? Trying to catch that devil's herd, and they're never going to catch it. And maybe that's where a lot of player decision comes into play. Like, is this right? maybe you go in there and you're like, yeah, we need to destroy these guys. These guys are hostile. We need to take over this place because we're the right ones. We know what's good for people. We know what's good for life. We need to destroy these savages. Or are you gonna go in there and try to make peace or some kind of friendship with these new races? I don't know. At first glance, you could say the bad guy is probably those aliens. Those aliens, they're fighting you, so they're probably the new enemy. But then it's like you're the one invading their planet. So it's who's the real enemy here, you know? It's very much like a BioWare style, where you question what you're doing, where you're like, I don't know what to do here. You know, the whole Paragon and Renegade. I'm not saying that the game is going to be perfect. I'm not saying that I'm going to love it no matter what. I am excited for it, but this is not my final judgment. My final judgment does not come until I've played the game, obviously. And look at my notes. Isn't it so good? Color coded and everything. Hopefully you guys found this interesting. Again, if you guys have anything to add, or if you want to like jump into some of these acronyms, what they might mean, or if you know what they mean, let me know in the comments down below. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.